go. There we go.
I'm calling on you to say I want you. Baby, all night, all day, I want you. Different towns to run to. Baby, come to me, ha ha ha, give it all to me. Skibbity wop pop pop, skibbity wop pop pop pop, skibbity wop pop 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 pop, skibbity pop pop, skibbity boom boom, ice, skibbity boom 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 boom, ice, skibbity boom 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 boom, pop pop boom boom, skibbity pop pop. Skibbity wop pop pop, skibbity wop pop 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 pop, skibbity wop pop 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 pop, skibbity pop pop, skibbity boom boom, ice, skibbity boom 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 boom, ice, skibbity boom 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 boom, pop pop boom boom, skibbity pop pop. Nice. Nice.
Oh, yeah, Greg's a hot one.
Yeah, look at Greg go. Sorry for the delay, and thanks for everyone for sitting patiently and waiting while we were trying to figure out how to get us linked up. But I think we got it working now. I did check, Poe. It's going on your channel. So, Mike, you can go back to where you normally go if you're feeling out of place here at my channel. You should be able to head over to Poe's channel, but hit that thumbs up before you go. But hey, Ballistics here. Mike's Gaming Gala was here early waiting for us. Phil's here. Retro Bliss, good to see you, buddy. Kelly's here. With she must have got a good look at. Hey, what's this all about? Oh, I'm in the wrong window. I can't share chats from that window. Kelly must have saw Greg dancing. And yeah, so welcome everybody. Well, get off of there is why I said click go. As you can see, it's just me and Poe tonight. Greg had his surgery on his knee and he's in recovery. And Mike is also in recovery. He's not feeling well. And he said he was going to try to make it, but he also said he was getting sleepy because he took some meds. So we figured Mike's going to wake up at 2 a.m. and quick try to log into the show. About the time Poe's getting up and driving to work.
All right.
Oh shoot! Yeah. You'll be on the way already. If he gets up at 2, that's 5 your time, right? So you would be on the way.
Yeah, I'll be driving.
Yeah. Bliss is he's seeing Greg in a whole new light. Yeah. But yeah, no worries, Mike. No worries. We're just glad people are watching. We don't care where you watch from. So it's all good. So Poe, you've been busy. Working.
Yeah, it's hard to get anything done around here. And I had this weekend off, but the wind was so bad here that I still didn't get that storm door on. So I have that brand new storm door sitting in the dining room for the last month.
Yeah. You know, Poe, that's a good way to make it last forever. 20
That's
years
true.
from now, you'll be like, that thing still looks like brand new. Let me open the box and show you. But yeah, we're cooking out here. It's 92 inside here, so that tells you where we are outside. it's yeah.
We were 50 yesterday, but I have 73 inside here right now, so it's not as bad today. But yesterday, just a bummer for the last day of May to be 50 degrees and windy like that.
Yeah, we're back to full on cooking mode. It got over 100 today here, so it's a little early for that kind of crap. Hey, Gideon's here. Good to see you, Gideon. I'm scrolling back through. I made the mistake here for a second. I was actually listening to what you were saying, Poe, and I forgot we had chat. Seeing if I didn't know. Greg might pop in for the chat a little bit if he's feeling up to it. I haven't seen it yet, but yeah, Shelby seeing us in new lights. Yeah.
We told Greg he wasn't needed tonight.
I see what you said there. Yeah, Ballistic's cooking too. Look at him, 96.
Oh,
96. When I first came out here, I came out an hour, well, apparently an hour and 15 minutes before showtime, since we didn't start till 6:15, and turned on the air conditioner out here, and my thermometer was just saying high, which means it was over 100 degrees inside here. So,
the Ballistic saying, is that tomorrow night you're airing that, Ballistic? I can't scroll down on the chat. So.
What? Where was it? I'll put that up while I'm searching for it. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Is this what you're looking for? Pose on. So you guys pre-recorded a show, or are you going live?
We did it last Saturday, and here's the thing: I'm going to be on Television Gamer tomorrow night at 8:00 Eastern, so I might be on two different channels at the same time tomorrow night.
Oh wow!
I didn't realize.
Oh, that's cool. So yeah, check out those channels, Ballistic Coffee Boy and Television Gamer, and then don't unsubscribe from them just because you see Poe there. Stick with it. They're good channels, whether Poe's there or not. So go check them out anyway. And then
I didn't realize that both be on the same night. And actually, I was supposed to pre-record with Casey, and I didn't find the time. He had to work yesterday early, so that's when I wanted to pre-record. And I'm like, you know what? We couldn't figure anything out. I said, I'll come on live, but I'm going to have to be off of there by 9. I'm going to get grounded. I got to get to bed one of these nights on time.
Right. Yeah. Hey, Gideon had some life changes. Got himself a new partner, an American girl. I got an American girl. Did Poe? You got an American girl?
Yeah. And if anything falls through with that, I'll probably do the 90-day fiance thing. That seems to work out well.
There's you go.
Lots of good-looking women looking for ugly Americans. I've learned from that show.
Bliss is giving you kudos there, Poe. Ballistic's scraping the bottom of the barrel. Hey, Salvatore's here. Good to see you, Salvatore. Welcome to the big show. It's a 2-person show tonight. And you're stuck. If it's got to be 2 people, you're stuck with us, me and Poe, of all people.
Look, so that's back-to-back double feature then. I'll leave Casey's show and walk right in with BCB.
There you go. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, because it's an hour before, right? Yeah. It's not like you're in 2 places at once. You're just spread out. So you can have 2 hours of Poe time on a Monday night.
I can offend all kinds of audiences, left and right.
Now, your background there, Indiana Jones, you've been playing the heck out of that.
Yeah.
Part 87, I think now.
I think, and that's still just the beginning of the game. I started doing all the side quests when I played this too, and I'm like, this really will take me 12 years if I'm recording every bit of me looking for all the side quests. So I started moving on, just the main story mode mostly. But really, Mike's Gaming Gal is the only one that watches anyway. That's why I told Derek the other day, he's not allowed to watch those videos. They're personal. They're private.
Yeah. I'll tune in every once in a while and watch some of it and then see how it's going. But I haven't been, I will admit, I haven't been watching religiously, but I do, I tune in from time to time. You had one the other day, it was only 26 minutes. I said, wow, does that include intro time? Because he must not have played any gameplay.
Right. There are ones that I record them all together sometimes. So doing 2 hours straight of that isn't possible. So the first video will be like an hour, and then the one I put on the next day will be 20 minutes or half an hour because it was time for me to go. I did have one video that got totally ruined, which was a really good episode. But that's when the PlayStation froze up, shut itself down, and didn't save the recording. And the game and the game wouldn't let me go back to that checkpoint. So, and then today something similar happened. I had a shorter video for later on this week. I think Wednesday or Thursday it was supposed to be up. And that was almost a half an hour long, and it recorded 50 seconds of it. After it uploaded privately to YouTube, I looked at it and it said 50 seconds. I'm like, how did that happen? So I need to go through and clear out my old videos that are actually on my hard drive of my PlayStation. Maybe that'll help. Because like I have tons of videos on there right now.
Yeah, I've done that before when I was doing the truck stim, and I paused for some reason, and then when I hit to go unpause the recording, it like went unpause. I saw the light change from the yellow pause button to the red on OBS that it was recording, but it must have went on and right back off. I drove for like half an hour, and then I was like gonna pause again, and when I hit pause, I looked over and it switched from pause to record again. I'm like, son of a! I just drove for that's brutal.
That makes you like not want to do it again.
Crazy.
Like I've shot videos like that with OBS, and the same things happen. So now I just don't pause it. I'm like, I got to get everything in one take, and then.
Yeah, it's a frustrating thing to do. You always miss your best stuff, you know.
Yeah, Mike wouldn't let me post a video of Mussolini, but there was one episode where I kept beating up Nazis and then laying one Nazi on top of the other, and then Indy would pull out his camera and take a picture. They did let me post that video.
Wow. That's crazy. That is crazy. All right, what else has been going on? Greg was gonna, I don't think he was able to. He said earlier today he was gonna try to, his pinball tournament, if anyone's here because of the pinball tournaments Greg does, it didn't actually end yet. So his pinball tournament is still going. You got some sneaky Pete time because our two shows were less than 30 days apart. So I think he's gonna post the results of that in the Discord channel when it comes up. Did we want to talk about, we don't have any challenges set up for this month. So if you're here for just to see our challenge, we don't have one. We might throw something up in Discord throughout the month and, do something there. But between Poe's having to work all the time, Kelly and I went on a cruise, and Greg and Mike are sick. We're probably not as prepared for tonight as we should have been. And so it's been a very busy time for all of us. So, but we can go over the challenges we had for last month if you want. Should we do that, Bo?
Do it.
Okay, so the arcade challenge, I'll pull that one up first because I can't pull it up actually, but it's on my screen. That was Food Fight, right?
Food Fight.
We played the arcade version of Food Fight, and Andy Arthur was running away with it, 127,000 points, and it looked like he just owned. And then Greg threw up 113.9. Amazing score there for Greg. And Television Gamer had 71.9. Mike Gaming Road Warrior at 62.1. Poe, you had 50,100. I was next at 32,000. T-Dog had 30,500. Chaos had 28,200. And Derek only had 4 digits. So we're just going to leave it at that. He had less than 10,000. We'll say that since he's not here. Mike's unsubbing because no challenge. You know why? I'll pull up that other one. Let me see. Mike is all about the console challenge, we know, because 12 minutes later, I'll be, no, don't invite guests. Share video. How do I share a screen? Here it is. Share. Man, I had to reset this whole thing up to try to get Poe in here. If anyone was watching my channel, I had coming up. So look at here. Look at here. Oh, let me get Mike's stuff off of there so I can put Mike's stuff up here. How do I get this off of here? Look at there. Devil World. This was yours, right?
Yeah.
Poe, this was your choice? Yeah, Mike's Gaming Gala just destroyed 83.9. Crazy score. Matt R had 37.5, which if you take Mike's score off of there, that's a great score. Poe with the 33,800 / 40,000 even, right?
Yeah, I
just
40,000 last
late.
night, and I forgot to go on the Discord and put the picture up. So there you go.
Right. Yeah. So I didn't change the spreadsheet because I just figured we could give you kudos right there. And besides, I like that me, you, and Greg are all in a line like this. So you got the 33.8. I almost had you there, 33.5. Greg had 19.9. Derek, one step up from the bottom. I don't know what he must be feeling. He's going to get a nosebleed being that high. He's never been that high in the charts before. 14.7. And then T-Dog finishing it up with the big 6,000. That was a good time. Congratulations, Mike, on that awesome
Yeah, and Mike
score.
played it live, so I got to see that score live on his stream that Saturday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You were gone.
I
think
did not.
You guys were gone still.
Well, yeah. Well, see, Mike, he always comes on our show from your channel, so I unsubscribed.
I don't.
You know, and then I'll see some come up, and he has a game that I think looks cool, so I'll resubscribe just for that one video. So, and then I unsubscribe again. But and then I saw his score was higher than mine. As soon as he crossed my score, unsub. So it was way early in his game when I unsubbed it. Yeah, I didn't get to see much YouTube while we were out on the ship because we paid for the internet package, so we had Wi-Fi while we were on there. But it doesn't really say that there's good Wi-Fi. They just say you have Wi-Fi. It was good enough that we could check in on the dogs, and because the Chihuahua went to a kennel, but the big dog stayed outside. So I put a camera up that faced on the water bowls and food bowl and stuff, so I could if something happened, big dust storm comes through and they had mud poles instead of water, I could text the neighbor and say, "Hey man, can you go change out my dog's water?" But it was good enough for that. But if you tried to watch a YouTube video, I'd never seen Kelly so upset she couldn't go on. She thought, okay, we're out of Texas Pornhub, and she couldn't even get on it. She was upset. So, yeah. Hey, Salty's here. Fat Boy Gaming and Nonsense. Smash that like button. Try. Yeah. See, you could see if you watch Mike's Gaming Galas and follow his subscribers, you'll see a pattern where every couple there'll be one up and one back down the same day. Yeah, that's me. That's no. I commented on one of his videos just the other day. I don't remember what it was now because I've seen other videos since, but he was doing the Army thing because he was like 4 different Army guys in the intro. He ended up in a tank. Yeah, that's what it was. It was that combat thing, right? He's driving the tank, the Jeep around. He was in a Jeep, not a tank. See, I watch. And he was shooting. And he said he couldn't get his kid to play with him, so he couldn't play a 2-player. Show us what the 2-player is. And yeah, and me and Poe were thinking, welcome to our world. Because now Poe's boy left, so trying to get, and your daughter's off to school. So now you got to try to get the wife to play with you. And I don't see too many 2-player games. I asked Shelby, she just laughs and keeps walking.
Yeah.
It's like, Shelby, you want to play that? She keeps walking. Every once in a while, I can Armor Attack 2. There it is. I can get Kelly to play sometimes. But, yeah. So, anyway.
I mean, ballistic. Who are you telling to put out? Put out or get out? Is that what
yeah, I had to read back up to see what is this referring to. Are you saying maybe our wives will play more games with us if we put out? Is that what he was getting to? Because that's when I read it. But yeah, I'm out of sync again. That's okay. That's okay. No one's looking at my face and listening at the same time. It's one or the other. It's one or the other. So, yeah. So what else has been going on? What else? Well, lately, Poe, you had a new purchase of a new headset, right?
Oh, yeah. I got the Quest 3. So rather than delete some stuff and download the Pinball FX VR on the Quest 2. Now I have the Quest 3, and that's 512 gigabytes. So I just threw everything on there. And my favorite games from the Quest 2 I re-downloaded. I didn't put everything on it so far, but put the cornhole back on there and golf walkabout and everything.
Excellent. So how now that you got not the 3S, you got the full on Quest 3, right?
Yep.
With the pancake lenses.
Yes.
How are you liking those?
Very, very, very nice. So much.
Yeah.
I'm used to, like, lately been using the PlayStation VR 2, and this thing is like so much smaller, lighter. You can actually drink your coffee, like the PlayStation headset. You had it on, you're like, think, clanging it off the thing. So, it came with Batman after some messing around and having to contact the Meta people. They finally got it straightened out and got my Batman game. So that was definitely a plus, because that's like a $50 game, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to pay for that game. I wasn't that interested. Now, free, I was definitely interested in. So.
Right. Yeah. And so obviously going from the Quest 2 to the Quest 3, you got a big horsepower increase, and then the pancake lenses and all that stuff. So we know the visuals are going to be better and all that stuff. But how do the visuals compare? Have you looked at Walkabout on the Quest 3 versus the PlayStation?
I didn't go into Walkabout yet on there, but I mean, the games that I am playing look fantastic. Like the PlayStation, like a noticeable difference with when I play Walkabout on PlayStation VR 2 compared to the Quest 2. But I think the big difference between those two is a higher resolution on the Meta 3 than the PlayStation VR 2, but the VR 2 is OLED, so your blacks are dark black. You definitely notice that.
Right.
And when you put the Quest 3 on, it's gray, it's supposed to be black and those areas are gray, but just love it, because I'm not tethered again. I can play things anywhere I want to, even outside if you want to. So,
right. Yeah, it's kind of funny, because I know you stumbled across a great deal through Amazon, right? And you got your Quest 3, and so I went looking, and I can't find that good of a deal. But in my searches, man, there's people already talking about the Quest 4, and I haven't seen where the official thing is coming out, but a lot of people are saying like fall of 2026. Yeah. So it could be just over a year later. And it's like, oh my gosh, my Quest 2 is going to feel like a dinosaur by then, I guess.
Right now, you're just starting to see, some things that are only for Quest 3 and not Quest 2. It hasn't been anything major as far as I'm concerned. Like Batman is one of them, and I'm like, for me, I could take it or leave it. It's fun, but like I said, it wasn't something that I would have paid $50 for. So,
right. Yeah. I'm on the fence, and it's kind of Kelly's headset. It was the first headset we got, and that thing only has 64 gig. So she struggles. Everything she wants to install, she's got to uninstall things. Sometimes just to update something, she has to uninstall something, so she has room for the update. So it was kind of okay, Poe stumbled across that great deal. If we find one, maybe we'll pick one up. And then I was looking at the 3S, which has all the same internals and stuff for the most part, but the same lenses that are on the Quest 2. But it has the processor chip and GPU and all that stuff that's on the Quest 3. So it is a pretty good improvement. But those, you can find those for $250, I guess, refurbished. So that's not too bad. But then when people started talking about the Quest 4 coming out, it's like, man, is the Quest 4, are they going to have a Quest 4S? Will that have the pancake lenses? Because they're talking maybe the 4 is going to have the OLED. And so they would be, okay, so they'll get the OLED and the S will have the pancakes. And it's like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? But you could end up forever waiting, if you're constantly waiting for the next iteration, you'll be waiting forever. Hey, who's this guy? Who's this guy in the chat? This Thursday, the Switch 2 releases. That is true. That is true. Yeah. All right. So, Ballistic, enjoy your dinner. You'll be listening full blast, so it'll be fun. Yeah. So, Switch 2. I haven't even really looked into it too much because I don't know. What are your thoughts on the Switch 2, Poe? Are you gonna get it?
I'll get it eventually, but right now, it used to be when the kids were living at home, I would get the system, whatever the newer console was, if they were interested, by the first Christmas after it came out, usually, and then when it was just me, it's like, well, my boy was still here when I got the PS5. I think I bought that in like November one year. It was Black Friday, and then we just had it there before Christmas, But yeah, I'm interested in it. But right now, my daughter has her own original Switch that she got for Christmas. My boy has the Switch Lite, so they're not buying the Switch 2 anytime soon. So I'll probably just wait.
Yeah, just hang out. Yeah, I don't have any plans to buy Switch 2 yet. I'm sure eventually, but I don't know. And I haven't heard anything. For me, of course, like always, the big draw will be what do they do with Pinball FX with the Switch 2? Because that's 90% of what I play on the Switch is pinball. And so that's what I'm waiting to see, because the Switch 2 will have the more horsepower and all that stuff. And are they going to have a version of Pinball FX that plays better on the Switch 2? Can the Switch 2 play in tournaments with everyone else again like they used to with FX3? That kind of stuff is what I'm waiting to see. But yeah, so I know Greg pre-ordered one, didn't he? I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Were you able to get one, Greg? If you're still there, and pre-orders, like all pre-orders these days, have been a fiasco for over half the people. I think people trying to get the thing. Another reason to wait. Right. I think. Yeah. Instead of jumping in the first day, wait till everything calms down. Hey, Chaos is here. Hope if I missed anyone when you popped in the chat, sorry. Usually when it's not just me and Poe, I have more time because you and Mike and Greg can talk, and I can watch the chat better. So if you got in here earlier and I didn't notice it, Switch is famous as a pinball platform. Yeah, I 3D printed one of those deals so I can put the Switch vertical and then the controllers slide in. So it's pretty cool playing pinball on the Switch when you're on the go. So that's what I use it for. Here, Greg is still here. Let's see. Same stuff he's looking for. Just need to find out if that's true or not. Cross-platform games do more pinball. Yeah. And that's what happened to me the first year that the PS5 came out. I don't know how many times I had it in the cart, went to buy it and said, sorry, it's gone. And then I just quit for like a year after that. I'm like, screw it, I'm not dealing with this.
Yeah, I kind of had a mini same problem with that when I went ahead and broke down and bought the original 5 tables on Pinball FX VR. Now that they got that pack for $42 or whatever. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. I might as well do it now. I'm going to do it eventually anyway. And it came up with an error. So then it's like, retry, same error pops up, retry, same error pops up. I'm like, well, screw that. I'll just go play some pinball. And they were there. So I was waiting to see if they charged me 3 times because I said retry 3 times, but it never did give me a sale completed. But the tables are working. So that's
speaking of that, I paid through PayPal to opcode for they do their seasonal thing, and PayPal said it went through, and I never got a confirmation from them. So I need to check with them and say, hey, did it go through? Or PayPal said that they sent the payment. I keep forgetting I need to do it because with work I keep forgetting things that I need to do, and then I remember like if I'm laying in bed or something like that, you know. So I'm hoping that I'm not paying for nothing by accident.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's scary. That's scary. Let's see. Gideon says the Switch 2, he's not getting it since over here for the same price. Get a base PS5 or a low-end PC. And he's planning to get a PS5 this year. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Sometimes that stuff, depending on where you're at in the world, can make a huge difference too. Because I've heard stuff about Switch 2 overseas.
Every generation, really I end up getting the Nintendo console also, along with whatever. Usually it's PlayStation and Nintendo, because I do like to play all the Nintendo games, first-party games, Mario Kart and all that stuff.
Right.
So at some point, I'm sure I'll have it, but right now, all of us have the Switch. If we want to do something, we can still play together on the Switch and everything. So.
Right. And I'll be curious to see how that stuff all, whenever one of us, I'm thinking Greg will probably be the first one that ends up picking one up of the four of us and see how it works. Can we cross-platform play, and with us on our old school Switch and him on a Switch 2, how will that work? But it's interesting. But right now, as of late, we've been, when you're not Indiana Jonesing, you've been messing with that VR, right?
And you got real happy too that I didn't have to reset up side quest. I have that on the old computer we barely use, but all I did was go on there and switch it from the Quest 2 headset to the Quest 3, and everything's just fine again. I can download my videos, and then what I do is I download them to the computer and I send them right to Mega, so I can edit them and everything like that. So it's been working out real smooth.
Nice. And now that you have 2 headsets in your house, but I think you're going to end up giving one to the boy, right? And one thing that we did notice, because Kelly and I have the 2 headsets, and I am the primary on both headsets, and then she's a secondary on the one headset, and then you do the app sharing, and she can play all the games that I buy. She can play them. But what it used to do was, if you bought a DLC, like in a Walkabout, all the courses, we both had to buy them because the DLCs wouldn't transfer. They do now. The latest Walkabout courses, I paid for them, and she went to buy it, and she was trying to buy it in game, and she's like, "It won't let me. It's just saying play around." I'm like, "I think because you have it," and we went in. And she was able to look for the balls and the clubs and all that stuff. And we only paid for one. And then there was another, the Real Fishing. I went into Real Fishing VR, and there's a shit ton of new fishing locations. So I bought a bunch of those. And I said, "Kelly, jump on there, see." She had all of those too. So it's like the DLCs are now transferring to the secondary account. So I'm just saying, you might want to consider that if the boy's going to use it, or however you're going to do it. If it keeps you as the primary and make him a secondary on that headset, everything you've already paid for, he can play. He can still add his own stuff on his own account, but he wouldn't have to buy Walkabout, and every course that you've bought, he would have.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it doesn't translate. Like if I find the golf balls, it doesn't show up as found on Kelly's. She's still completely independent. Everything except for paying for it. So it's like, sweet. That's
because I'm already double dipping on that too. Even after I started playing mostly on PlayStation, anytime there was a new course, I would also go on the Meta app and buy it for my Quest 2, even though I wasn't using it that often. So that's another game that I'm double dipping on.
Yeah. Like I said, we used to have to double dip all of the DLCs. I could get her the base game for free, which is fine. I didn't mind spending $3, $4 for a course, but Mike, that you can't even watch VR videos. Like if people are playing, it gets you. Because I know a lot of people get the VR sickness when you're in the headset. I still have to be careful. Some games I'm fine. Some games just tear me up.
Yeah, I had another subscriber, a year or so ago, tell me that they couldn't watch any of that VR stuff, even on YouTube that I put up. It's probably just me. The guys probably just get sick to the stomach from me being on there. But
yeah, that happens to me on your flat screen games. If I watch too long, I just get to feeling ill. But yeah, no, Ballistic says he's not upgrading to the Switch 2. He's saving up for the Jaguar Plus.
Ooh.
Ooh. Nice. Oh yeah, that makes sense too. It's kind of like getting car sick. A lot of people that get car sick when they're passengers can drive the craziest windy roads and they're fine when they're driving. But so speaking of all that, Poe, you have a video for tonight.
Yeah.
And
originally Mike was going to do one on Star Wars VR, so I said, well, let's take it back even further, and I'll do the pinball. What was it? FX2 VR. But now the name is Pinball Classic, I think is what they call it. And they had that on sale, so I bought that. I think it was like $6 or $7 or something there a week or two ago.
Yeah, it was really cheap a couple weeks ago. Yeah. And so you played some pinball?
Yeah.
FX2, which is now called FX Classic because they don't want to have the confusion of FX being newer than FX2. So they'll say, now on mine, it's still, does your icon, when you go to start it, does it still say FX2?
It comes up on that screen, FX2, whenever you go into the game.
FX2. Yeah. So I guess we'll go ahead and play your video. And Mike, go ahead. Now's your warning. Go get your barf bag because we're going to do a VR video. So, or did you anything else you wanted to do to set it up? Or
I was going to follow up with it, but I'll say it here because I don't know how true it is. And when was the last time you went in to play that game?
To actually play it, well, about 3 days ago, I went in because I'm testing stuff, which is kind of in my video. But to just sit down and play a bunch of games for a long time, it's been a while.
Okay.
I did play a couple games.
I went in and I bought the Universal pack for it after the fact.
Back to the Future
and Jaws and all that. And somebody, I don't remember if it was in Meta's review of the game or if it was on Reddit, but somebody claims they've had that game forever and the other games for it. And they're saying once it turned to Classic, they had to repay to get the DLC. So they're yelling about Meta being a ripoff, and you know how people are.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, matter of fact, in the video I have for tonight's show where I'm talking about the game optimizer, I jumped into FX2 Classic, and I went to the Back to the Future game.
Okay.
So I'm not limited just to the original tables that came with it. All of my DLCs are still there.
Yeah, that would definitely be some bull, but it's the internet. People would like to stir the pot, so.
Yeah, or someone that forgot, and they're like, no, I know I bought that stuff, and they bought it for their PC, and they think they had it, and so. All right, are we ready then? Let's do it. I think that's what I titled this this stream. I got tired of trying to think of names. Just let's do it. And then I grabbed a freaking back glass. I didn't have it. I don't have any of the, sorry, tangent. I don't have any of the thumbnails on this computer because I set it all up on my laptop. And then when we got in this emergency, I'm like, oh no. So the only thing I have are back glasses for FX on my table. So I'm like, just the first, that one was Elvira.
Oh yeah, I like that one. I was really trying to get into that one.
Yeah.
How's it going, everybody?
Right,
welcome back to the show. It is June 2025. It's been a month already, and we're back. And if you follow the Discord, you know a lot of us are playing Pinball FX VR right now. Greg and Bart and myself have been playing that, and we're really loving it. So I thought I'd take a look back at, I think it's Pinball Classic VR, Pinball VR Classic. It used to be Pinball FX2 VR, I think, and they changed the name of it. This is, I believe, where it all started in VR on the Meta anyway. And so I'm going to take a look back at it. I bought them all except for The Walking Dead. Let's take a look and see what games they had or have to offer. I just got this recently, never got it on my Quest 2, so I decided to get it now. I know Bart has been playing this for a very long time, way back since he got his Quest. And I think Greg plays this as well. So let's take a look and see what we have on the Pinball Classic VR. Is that what it's called? It's on there. I got it on sale for a very good price, but then I did have to buy some other tables. So let's take a look. Happy June, everybody! Great to be back.
Hello, hello. This is Pinball FX2 VR. This is the original OG VR game that came out for the Quest back in the day. And I didn't own it on my Quest 2. I know that Off Grid Arcade did own it back in the day. He is a pinball aficionado, a lover of all pinball, and really got some of us into this a lot. So did G.Parker, and I think G.Parker owns this as well. I'm not 100% positive on that. He can verify. So this started it all, as far as I know. And so it's different. You don't have the ambiance or the atmosphere of Pinball FX VR that we do now. You're not walking around an arcade. You just have a little virtual world here. And I did buy everything except for The Walking Dead for this, but I didn't get them all downloaded. So right now, I'm out in my studio. The Wi-Fi doesn't reach here way across the backyard. I did get some of them downloaded, not all of them. So we can play that. We can play Back to the Future. Looks like I must have got it downloaded, so that's good. And I bought these ones, but I didn't get them downloaded. Need to get back to the house to get those all downloaded. You have the ones that came with it as well. And yeah, that's the last one I need to buy for this one. I do have it on FX3, I believe. Which one do we want to play? I don't know. Good question. Jaws. Let's play Back to the Future. Because everybody loves that. But Jaws is fun. Did I pass it up? It's over there. So we're not walking over to the table. Now here's the table. Look at that. That is sweet. Look outside, you can see the clock. I'm liking this. There's Doc sitting there.
Input the destination time. 1985 alternative. 1885. 1955 part 2. 1985 alternative.
That doesn't really matter. We're just trying this out. There's the DeLorean flying around us.
If you're gonna shoot the ball, why not do it with some skill?
I don't have skill.
No, this can't be happening. I'm afraid it is happening, Marty. All of it.
Again, looks absolutely awesome. It really does. In VR. This looks like there is a table with depth right in front of my eyes, like a real table, but with some extras. With some extras like that. You can see everything there.
You're gonna shoot the ball, why not do it with some skill?
So this is a great first attempt. And we can use our thumbstick to pull it back gradually. Or we can use the A button to just shoot the ball.
Look, I made a mistake. That's it. I'm just in the wrong house. Great Scott!
And I'm doing terribly here.
If you're gonna shoot the ball, why not do it with some skill? It's like we're in hell or something.
The FX
Hey, I don't want any trouble.
VR
Oh, it's Hill Valley, although I can't imagine hell being much worse.
really improves on all of this. You're walking around, you can do other things, you can play music, boombox, you can play darts, spin the wheel for prizes, things like that. And you can walk around or teleport around.
Time multi-ball.
Well, so much for multi-ball, huh? It's okay.
See, while we were in the future, Biff got the sports book, stole
looks
the
great,
time
though.
machine,
Even this
went
one
back
is
in
the
time
original.
and gave the book to himself at some point in the past.
It shows a lot of depth. So I don't know how this is translating to 2D video, but 3D.
Mom, is that you? The whole thing is my fault. If I hadn't bought that damn book, none of this would ever happen. Out of time jackpot. Out of time jackpot.
End of multi-ball. Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. And there you have it. Yeah, this is the order pinball effect.
Dark still looks fake.
If you have them at a Quest 2 or 3, you want to give it a try. $10,746,831. And then you're just right back out here again. You pick what you want to play.
This ain't gonna be pleasure boating or day sailing.
And this is Jaws. Well, we're surrounded by water now. Really cool. Really, really cool. So yeah, check them all out. Especially the new Pinball FX VR. But you can still get these ones on the Quest store. See, I own them all except for The Walking Dead right now. I just need to download those other ones, but yeah, I'm loving it. Like I said, Off Grid was already playing these. I believe G.Parker was as well. It's just really something in a headset to see this stuff. It's like you got the real pinball tables right in front of you. All right, guys. Talk to you later.
All right. Yeah, the only thing with that, those universal tables is the voices. They didn't get the original actors' voices. So even though they had in the Back to the Future doing real quotes from the movies, it wasn't
Right.
Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd. But I'm usually so busy trying not to drain that I lose track of it. Again, if you go online, people just go, oh my God, the voices. So the whole game sucks. But it would be nice if they had the real one, but the real voices. But yeah,
It's still, that's very fun.
Yeah.
It's cool to see. They started with a banger there, but I think they've just gotten so much better with this newest Pinball FX VR. The way you can walk around or you can teleport around if you can't handle the walking, and then the mixed reality was amazing. I did a video on that where I put 2 tables in my living room, and I've seen other people put them. I was going to do that today. I was going to come out in the backyard and put all the tables like down my sidewalk all the way across the backyard, but I just didn't end up having time to do that. But it looks really cool. It looks like you have, the table there in your house right in front of you.
Nice. Yeah. And surprisingly, even though I have the Quest 2, so I don't have the full color pass through, I guess the Pinball Noir table would fit in nice because that's mostly black and white anyway. But especially once I put the tables in, and of course they're in full color, and the rest of my house is in black and white. It actually still looked pretty cool, even with the lower resolution and all that. I was like, this actually looks surprisingly good, even on a Quest 2. And of course, my tiny house, I had to put one table on each end of the house, and then I had like 4 feet between them where I could turn around and play.
Well, you could build an empty arcade out in your backyard, like just have a trailer with nothing in it, and then this is my arcade. Put the tables in. Because I wouldn't put the tables in the backyard if I were you, because you might be dealing with rattlesnakes while you're trying to get a high score or something there. So that.
Right. Yeah. Oh man, I had one on the front porch 3 days ago, and while we were gone, I put up some shade cloth around the porch and blocked off the one end so that the dogs would have somewhere to get out, and I could put the water and food where it wouldn't get rained on and all that stuff if it did rain while we were gone, and try to lessen the dust. Well, my little snake grabber thingy, the pinchy thingy, was on the outside of it, and the snake was right in the middle. The dogs ran out, went under the shade cloth, and I took 2 steps off the step. So now I'm the step and then down onto the thing. I'm about 3 feet away from it, and it's in the middle of I'm like, oh shit. So I quick back into the house. I'm like, I can't even reach my grabber, but I just called the dog back in an hour later.
People here near Pittsburgh complain about the snow, and they can't wait to retire. They're going to move down south. But I like not having to worry about getting murdered as soon as I walk out the back door by one of God's creations. It's nice.
Right. Yeah. In the summertime when the snakes are out, I try to remember, because my step to get into the house, I just built it out of 2x4s and a sheet of plywood, so it's hollow underneath. And I've had rattlesnakes underneath that step, so I try to remember, step on the step and then take a long step so you don't get your heel bit or something. Wow. Your Achilles tendon bit off. But I've only seen one in there. Before it scrolls off, and it scrolled up, and then I grab a random LOL. The new Jaws is definitely solid. And yeah, I have a story, of course, and Poe, you already know, because I did post it on my channel while we were on the cruise ship. I went down to the arcade, and sure enough, they had the new Jaws pinball table.
On a ship.
And on a ship. And I thought this will be interesting to play. You're on a boat. The thing's going to be rocking around. The balls will be moving. It played pretty well. I didn't know. I never noticed anything because I'm not good enough to notice if the ball was moving funky. But and they had it set up very player friendly. You would get a free game at 60 million points, which may sound like a lot, but it's not really. I won several free games, and the last day that we were on the cruise, I still had. You got to get on your room card. You have to spend $20 get you 100 tokens, and then but for 23 you get 125 tokens. So I did that, and it cost 8 tokens per game. So I don't know what the math worked out, but the last day I had 20 tokens, so I could play 2 games, and then I knew I was going to waste 4 tokens. So I swiped my card, and I had 2 games on my card. I played 3 games. And when I left, there were 2 credits on the machine because I paid for 2 games and had 3 free games out of that. So I over 60 million twice, and I matched on the last game. So it was very gamer friendly. Usually those things, the match once every 4,000 games. I think before I used that card up, I think we matched 3 or 4 times in about 10 games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know why
And
they
then
do that? Because they know at the same time you're playing, Kathy Lee Gifford is singing in your ear. If you could see me now.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
an old
Uh,
reference.
and then they had a giant. They had a giant Mario, like almost, well, probably a foot taller than Kelly. It was a good 3 feet. And it's one of those things where you put your thing and you say go, and then the little scissors come out. You got to cut the wire. And I tried that twice and missed it. But I'm convinced, because the little snippers are so small, I'm convinced it's kind of like the claw machines decide when they want to actually grip and when they want to do this. I think it just kind of went, and then I pushed it at the right time, but then it waits a second, an eighth of a second, so you miss
Yeah,
it. But
speaking of those
it
claw
was pretty cool.
machines, Ballistics here in the chat, he did a video. I think he said it's his neighbor's machine, but he's keeping it at his place. Is it arcade, one up arcade? They made a claw machine now for your.
Oh, nice.
And I told him and his live chat the one day, if I were him, I would put Atari 2600 games all through that thing, cartridges, and then that's your random game of the month or the week or whatever you
Yeah.
grab and drop out. Or if you don't want to drop the cartridges, just put in those little ball things with a paper in it with the name of a game. Let's pick a game,
Right.
random game of the week.
Yeah. Random game. That would be cool. But anyway, so I did a video also, and again, it's another VR video. Mine it's not gameplay though. There is a program called the Quest Game Optimizer, and it lets you go in game by game, and you can increase your CPU speed, your GPU speed, and all kinds of settings. It does work for the Quest 2, the Quest 3, and the 3S, and it costs $10. I'm kind of going over stuff that I'm going to go over in a second.
I was just going to say, what I like about your videos is you don't repeat yourself 26 times. I don't even notice it until you put my videos on. It's like I did an intro and said all this shit stuff, and then I say it again through the video like 2 or 3 more times.
Yeah. You inspired me to repeat. Well, I had forgot to mention at one point in the video that it does, because I'm on a Quest 2, that it does the 3S, so I had to put text up, so I figured I'd mention it. But yeah, so here's a little video on how that Quest Game Optimizer works. Pretty neat, but like I said, it does cost $10. But
All right,
for me,
hello.
it's been worth it.
My
So
little-
here we go.
Okay, there I am over there. Hello. Welcome to my little segment for the show. I'm going to go over this thing. It's called the Quest Game Optimizer. Quest Games Optimizer. I have it down here on my thing because I use it all the time. But if you go into your library, you got to go to the unknown sources. Normally you'll be in your all or your installed or something or applications. You got to go to unknown sources because that's where the Quest Game Optimizer will be found. It is a paid program. It costs $10. But let me show you how this works. I'm going to go ahead and close that out and I'll open it from here. And you can see it kind of looks like it's your applications. It's got all your apps in here. I have it sorted by all. And I'm going to sort it by favorites. Because I did favorite, look, pinball, 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 walkabout, fishing. You can see up here this ADB is green. That is important. You got to have your ADB connection, and you have to go into your settings to set some stuff up. It's not the settings here. The quick settings is the settings for the actual Android that's running underneath this. So there are steps, there's instructions that you can follow on how to get to those settings. I'm not going over that right now. I'm just kind of showing you what this thing does. If you look down here, Walkabout has HD, Star Wars Pinball, HD Plus, Real Fishing, HD Plus, Pinball FX2, which is now Classic, they call it, HD Plus. And this one here has the 2 little people because that's a custom one. These ones all had their own already. And what I'm going to do here, I'll go into here and click on this, and you can see all this stuff. You can favorite it, you can change the name, you can do whatever, you can pin it. You can choose which of things, but I'm going to go into edit here. I always use profile 1 because I'm the only one that plays. But you got all kinds of settings here. I have my render scale at 124%, so it's a little bit sharper. You can go, look at this, all the way down to 4096. I'm on 1792 right here, and that's 124%. I don't know where I got that idea. I think I saw it on Reddit or something. You can do all these, and it will make the picture sharper, but it also will make it choppier. So you got to be careful with that stuff. Here, you can set your default refresh rate. You could set it to 72. Some people say 72. I keep it at 90 hertz. You go all the way up to 120 hertz if you want. I keep it at 90. It seems to work the best for me. You have CPU setting and GPU setting. They're pretty self-explanatory. I was running them at very high. I dropped it down to just high. I'm not noticing a difference. But, excuse me, one thing that does happen is your battery life. Your battery will drain much quicker if you're using these in the higher ones. If you put it way down here in power save, your battery lasts a long time. FFR, that's the fixed foveal rendering. The higher it is, the more degraded the quality at the edge of the image, but better performance because the focus is on the center of the image. I have it set to medium. These all started on default. I turned it on high and very high, and I did not notice a difference. I didn't see a difference in the headset, and I didn't notice a difference as far as whether, I'm going to move it back to high though, because it looked fine. But it could be because I wear glasses, but I don't wear glasses in here. Kelly has the lenses. I don't, so maybe it's because my eyes aren't so good. Application space warp, interpolate artificially generated images. The game has to support that. I just leave it to default in this DRS resolution, dynamic resolution scaling. The game has to support that. So I'm just leaving it on default. I don't know that Pinball FX VR uses it. And some of these things, let me back out of this. If I go into Pinball FX 2, the classic, and look at this, this will tell you the settings. There are presets for these. So if you're running HD Plus, it's 2048, so it's 142% render if you run it in that. Very high for GPU. CPU they have on default. Interesting. On all of these default. Very high GPU, very high on the FFR, and default. So it's mainly, well, there they go, high and a little less. So I don't know. I haven't tried doing it like this particular, leave the CPU in default. But those were presets, and it'll tell you what you got your preset to, and then you launch the game from here. You could see in the edit screen, you could start the game from right here, but once you have everything set, if I want to play Pinball FX 2, the old one, I just click on it. HD Plus profile, it tells you right here, it's telling me what the settings are, and it loads into the game. It looks pretty darn good. It makes a difference. To me, it's worth the $10. I'll just come over here to Back to the Future table. I don't know how well it's going to look on the video, but in the headset, this looks amazing. It's a huge difference. I gotta do this. Reset the table where I like it. But yeah, it looks amazing, but it will drain the battery faster. So keep that in mind. Quest Game Optimizer, I just Googled it, looked it up, $10. It works great. Well worth it in my opinion. clock towers out there. Yeah, so check it out. All right, thanks for watching. Back to the show.
Nice. That's really cool.
Yeah, and I do got to say there at the end when I'm at the Back to the Future table and all that wonkiness was happening with the table, that's a recording artifact. In the headset, it was perfectly smooth. I didn't even see that actually until I edited it and uploaded it to. I was like, oh, shoot. Yeah, I did that, but that doesn't happen in the headset. And the amount of clarity difference between running it natively and then running it with that HD Plus setting in that game optimizer is kind of amazing. It's hard to describe because a lot of times when you do recordings of VR, it looks better on the recording than it does in your headset anyway, because the headset can only do so much, especially the Quest 2. But yeah, I think it was worth the $10. They have hundreds of presets for different games. FX VR, the new one, is too new, so they don't have any presets for it. So I've just been going in, and of course, the first thing I did is went to everything the max and turned it into a slideshow. Uh-oh, Gideon's
good
gotta
night,
go.
Gideon.
It's early in the morning for Gideon. Gideon, right before you leave, hopefully you see this. People are talking Iowa might come out at the end of this month. So keep an eye out for that. I didn't talk any truck sim for Gideon when he was
Lots
here.
of corn.
Direction.
No, that's Indiana. What's Iowa known for?
Yeah, I don't know.
Corn.
Being a state with only 4 letters.
We'll say corn.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, they're saying because they released gameplay video from SCS, and that's usually about a month from when they release the state. So anyway, but that game optimizer did make a huge difference. Like I said, I set everything. I went to the maximum resolution, and I jumped into FX VR, and it did. It looked amazing, but the headset couldn't handle it. So it was choppy. I was getting like 4 frames a second. But if you sat still and just looked at the table, man, it looked great. But it was still totally unplayable. And but yeah, I was seeing people. They said that the Star Wars pinball and the Pinball FX Classic, that game optimizer made a huge difference. And then I knew they had it for the Real Fishing VR and the Walkabout. I didn't really notice a difference with Walkabout.
Walkabout,
I just used the default
no
HD.
matter what system I play it on, it's a little shinier, on the PS VR2. But it's a more cartoony game anyway, so I don't think you're going to see a huge difference no matter what you're playing it on. But still, my choice for anybody, and you told me this back in the day, when you're first starting out in VR, get Walkabout, because that game is just awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny because I think I told you when Ed got his, Digital Victory got his headset, we pretty much all of us, I think, we kind of passed the baton of buying Walkabout for people. It's like whoever got it first, here's Walkabout. And then they bought Walkabout for the next person. I bought it for Ed, and he told me later, he said, all right, we'll see you, Gideon. Have a good night. He was like, yeah, I didn't want to say anything, but you gifted me this Walkabout mini golf. And then I was like, I don't like mini golf particularly, but thanks. And then he played it, and he was like, oh my gosh, that is so fun. I love that game.
And you started the tradition, you buy a game for the person that's getting. So I got my Quest 2 first out of Mike and Greg. And then I think when Greg got his, somebody gifted him Walkabout. So I gifted him fishing. And then Greg's just like, fishing? Why the hell do I want to fish? I'm like, well, thanks, buddy. I just bought you this game. What the heck? But then he ended up liking it. So
Right. And that's an amazing game. That's a good one, too. If you like fishing and like just chilling out and want to relax for a while, that's an awesome game. Real Fishing VR or Real VR Fishing, whatever they call it. Hey, Joker.
Hey, Joker.
That's an awesome game, too. And that did help with the game optimizer. And that's a good one. Kind of like the pinball. I sit on the couch when I play pinball. I see people are buying that arcade thing, whatever, so they can stand up and use the buttons and all that stuff. And I'm like, I'm chilling on the couch playing pinball. I'm fine with using the
That X
controllers.
arcade, I think for pinball, it would need some work. And people have been saying that, and they said that they're taking note of what people are saying. They're talking about putting a plunger on the thing, haptic feedback, things like that for it. But still, you're going to pay, what is it, $400 for that thing? Something like that.
Yeah, it's about $400.
Now, if you're playing a lot of other arcade games, emulators and stuff, it might be worth it. But right now, just for FX VR, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, and I saw someone online is they made a file, an STL file for 3D printing a box, and they have a link to the button pack with the encoder and all that, and the Bluetooth transmitter, and you can basically build your own.
Oh, okay.
I think to get all the parts, you're probably, I don't know, I didn't price everything out, but I think it's less than $100. And now, if you don't have a 3D printer, you would have to find some way to print it. But yeah, for me, like I said, I've played VR pinball with Zachariah, and I'll play it using this, and it is kind of cool. You got your headset on, so the machine is where, and then you're using the buttons. But I'm much more comfortable in the house, sitting on the couch, and just chill. And I can plug the headset in while I'm playing. I don't have to. I plugged it in back here, even though mine doesn't have a plug back there. Same with the fishing. I'll plug it in because Kelly and I will be like 10 in the morning. And we'll be like, hey, you want to do some fishing? Oh, okay. So we sit on the couch, plug in our headsets, and it's like, hey, it's midnight. Should we go to bed? And we just fish all day. It's like, so I like sitting where I can, with pinball is cool. You can keep it plugged in. I don't have to worry about it. And because with that game optimizer, like I said in the video, it does drain your battery quickly. Yeah. I popped it on, I think it was a Star Wars pinball, and I played like 3 or 4 games in a row. And I mean, it wasn't dead, but it was like half the battery, and I'm not good enough to play half a battery's worth in 4 games. It's just, they were average length games. I wasn't playing for an hour and 10 minutes per game. And I was like, oh man, the battery it's going down quickly, because I think they got the CPU and GPU cranked on that thing. But
I still need to play that. I bought it like a year ago for me and Mike during the May the 4th sale or whatever, and I have played it on the PlayStation VR 1 back on PS4 years ago, and it was a really fun game, Star Wars one there, how you could set everything up.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I told Mike wrong. I think I told him the Vader table. It's the Empire Strikes Back table. If you play that table, which is a really fun table, and if you go through all the stuff to where you win the prizes, you can get the full-size Vader statue that you can put next to the table. But when you start one of the modes, choose mode 6, and that's when you do the lightsaber battle with Vader. So that's pretty cool, because he's full size standing in front of you. It's pretty easy. It's not like you're having a full on sword fight. He rears back one way. It's like the hockey goalie. You got to guess right, and then you block him or he gets you. But but I do like those tables. I like the Mandalorian table a lot in that thing.
And it's funny because I never thought that I'd be buying these tables yet again for another platform. But here we go. I buy them for the Switch. I buy them for the PS5. And now the VR, and I can't help it. I want everything that comes out for the VR. You were right. For me, that's the way to play it. And not only that, but I can see your scores on there where I couldn't with the PS5.
Right.
I can see Greg's scores on there. And not that I'm going to beat you guys, but it's cool to see your scores on there. See how bad I got my butt whooped. And then Herb Wars and Brooklyn Menace, I can see their scores on there. So.
Right. Now, in the FX Classic, where you're standing and you're looking, I don't know how much you've looked around in the game besides just playing a couple tables, where you were sitting there and the Back to the Future table, and then to the right you had the one that you were cycling through and looking at what. If you go to the right of that, there's the thing on the wall, and it'll have your friend's
Oh,
scores.
that's cool.
Or I can't remember now. One of them has it on the wall there, and one of them, it might be an FX2 Classic. You go into that other room and you can scroll through but you can see each other's
Right.
scores, but they're just not right at the table. There's like a score. Yeah, it's the FX Classic. You go into the other room and you can see all of your friends' scores and all that. Scroll through the tables and it'll say, okay, Jaws table, here's your score and here's your friends. Star Wars, it's on the wall, and you can see each other's scores. So, yeah, but it is crazy. The difference between playing digital pinball, I'm not going to, say it's just a good go to VR as playing on a real pinball table, but it's a good in between. It's digital. You can play it at your house, but it's 3D. It looks full size. I was telling Kelly, when you do Medieval Madness, when you do the launch, the skill shot are the two rollovers at the top, right? You don't do a launch. It's a button press. Well, for me, and probably you too, Poe, because we're taller, the pop bumpers cover that. But in VR, you do this, and you can see which light is lit. And that on that skill shot, you can change it with the flipper. So if you see the balls bouncing around, it's going to go down the right lane, change the right lane to lit. But on a flat screen, when I'm playing on this, if something's blocked, I can't look around it. In VR, yeah, you can duck down. Kelly, in VR, she has to look up so she can see to the back of the table. But yeah, it's so neat to see it in 3D.
It's
totally different.
so different. I love it. Maybe they're not the best versions of the game. Again, I saw people complaining, saying that Pinball FX VR is nothing but the Switch version of the game, but in 3D. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know the specs of it. It plays great. It plays great. I just need some tournaments going now. But at least we can see each other on there.
They are talking about adding tournaments. I haven't seen anything official from Zen, but I've seen from multiple people who said they've seen stuff that Zen was hinting at before the end of 2025. They plan on putting tournaments into the VR. That would be awesome. I think I'm going to do some on Discord. Just say, hey, let's do a tournament. Everyone that has it, we know me, you, and Greg have it. I don't know who else has it. Derek keeps threatening to get it, but Derek's not even on the show here tonight. So
yeah, what the hell, Derek?
But, I'm gonna text him later and tell him to kick his own ass off of Discord. But yeah, tournaments would be nice to be added on there. But I play the games better on there. Now, some people might say that's because they're dumbed down or something. It's the Switch version. They're too easy to play. I'm not good enough to need it to be on the hardest pro mode ever. It's set at a level that I can have some really good games. I know I got the Pinball FX VR, and then Greg did the Curse of the Mummy tournament that week. And so I was playing it on VR. I couldn't get half the score on this that I was getting in VR. And some of that I do think because it's in 3D and you can see better what you're doing, but part of it must be, something to do with the physics. Makes it easier, which is good.
My own video that I put up the first time playing there, I had some people or a person. People said they're distracted by the outside things going on, and I'm pretty sure it says right there you can turn it off.
Yeah, you can turn off the stuff on the table.
Yeah,
too, the table.
Sometimes I would do that on the PS5.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there were certain games you would have a frickin' dragon flying right in the middle of the table when you're trying to watch the ball.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't have to have that. It's just something neat that they added to it.
Right. Well, on Indiana Jones, they have that one deal when you hit the ramps, the airplanes will fly right by the flippers, and that's tough. And then on Medieval Madness, the dragon will take off and fly around, and depending on your height, again. If the dragon flies over the flippers for me and you, Kelly, the dragon, because she's a foot shorter than me, over a foot shorter than you, she'd be down here, and the dragon might not block the flippers. So, but you can turn that off. You can turn off people. I've seen people complain about the dragon that hangs on the side of the Medieval Madness. I'm too focused on the ball. I don't even notice the stuff.
Yeah, in my video, I showed that dragon just because I thought it was neat, so I kept looking over at him. You know, if you did a bad shot, he was kind of like put his wing over his eyes and stuff, which for me was the whole game. But hey, that's my favorite way to play now, for sure. So.
Yeah. Now, I will say the only table I turn off the table animations is the, oh, shit, what's it called now? What's the table that's sitting right to the right of the Black Rose table with the goofy little dude?
Oh,
I can't
he's
think of what
dressed
it's
like
called.
the Red Baron,
Has,
but is it Playland, or is that, what the hell is it called? I don't know. That's going to
I don't know, but he's sitting on a rocket in the center of the table, and it follows the ball around. And if you catch the ball and want to shoot it into the hole that's under that rocket, it's covering it. You can't see the shot you're looking for. So that's the only table I have the animations turned off all the time, because I don't like that thing. If it was sitting back further and it wasn't blocking the shot you're trying to make, I would probably leave it on. But God, I cannot remember what the name of that. It's the something, I don't know. It's a fun table, but and I'm kind of surprised because I usually am not the biggest Williams fan. I'm not a Williams fanboy. Let's put it that way. I like what some Williams say. I'm even playing that Safecracker more than I ever have.
I haven't tried that again since, but back in the day when we played it on something else, I wasn't a huge fan back when I think we played it for a tournament a few years ago or something, but Party Zone
Chaos. I got to specify Party Zone. Chaos says Party Zone, and that's the table we were talking about. That is not the answer to Ballistic. What are your favorite tables right now?
Medieval Madness for me right now in VR, and the Twilight Zone. I always like those two tables. So.
Yeah, I know why you're picking the Twilight Zone, because I can't beat your score on it. That's the one table for sure that Poe has me beat. You have a really good score on that, and that is a fun table. For me, surprising enough, Black Rose is the table I have on my favorite spot when you first launch VR. You can pick a favorite table, mainly because I'm trying to win the statue so I can put her in the room. That's it's either her or Indy, and at the time I didn't own the Indy table yet, so I was trying to focus on getting that, and I keep getting fucking ball trails. I don't care about ball trails. I want the statue. And Theater of Magic. I am loving Theater of Magic in 3D and VR.
I gotta play it. I haven't played that one yet.
Yeah, I love that table. It's got a cool theme. The chick is off to the side, but she's not overly obtrusive if that stuff does bother you. I'm really liking that table. But I'm surprised I'm having so much fun on a lot of the ones I never. The boxing one, I'm having a great time on that one because I watched Rexer and Kevgret. They were talking about Pinball FX VR, and they were talking about that table, and they said, yeah, those two little ramps where you shoot the ball up when you get in a fight and the dude turns around, you can actually see in 3D how the ramps are set up, and it's like, oh, this is what on this table it's kind of looks flat and you're not exactly sure what you're shooting at. So my Godzilla they have right down at this pizza place right down the road from me. I've never played the Elton John one, but we don't have those yet on FX, so maybe they do on VPN. Right. I don't know. But yeah, now out in the wild, if you're talking actual physical pinball tables, I'm lately, of course, because I've played it the most, I'm all about that Jaws table. That's my favorite table that I've played in a long time out in the wild. I still like playing. If I see a Medieval Madness in the wild, I'm going to go play it. But that Jaws table is really cool. And I played that when I went to see Mike up in Oregon. Well, we met in Portland. He came down to Portland. We went up to Portland, and we went to that pinball joint, and they had that Jaws. That's the first time I have ever played it. And Mike will say the same thing. He really loves that table. But
Yeah, the Godzilla games on Pinball FX are what Zen. Those are Zen originals, right? Pacific Rim,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
Godzilla.
Yeah. Those are not. Yeah. And I'm still hoping, as much as I'm enjoying these Williams tables on VR, I'm still hoping that they get some of these Zen originals, like the Kong table and the Godzilla, and I would love to have some of those, and I would really love if they could put some Pinball M tables
Oh,
on
that
there.
would be the
Have another back room and it's
Yes,
all haunted
yes.
looking with creepy stuff, and then have your Pinball M
Yeah,
tables in
sitting
there. I
there
think that would be
laying the
awesome.
table, and then little Chucky ducking under the table, and you don't know where he's at, and he comes back out again.
Oh yeah, that would be so awesome to have the Pinball M tables. And,
I know Black Knight. That is, I think that's Mike Gaming Gala's favorite real table in real life. I think you could be wrong.
Oh, yeah, the original Black Knight.
I think.
Yeah, that's a cool table. That's a cool table. Yeah, it's yeah. Play it next Friday night. He's going to play some Jaws. Also play X-Men and Black Knight. Tento. Yeah, they are fun tables. Yeah. Now, and of course, I still have a warm spot in my heart for Jokers, the old 80. When did that come out? 88, I think, the Jokers Williams table, because I owned one. So I have it on this, and I'll play that every once in a while. But yeah. But right now I'm all about playing in VR, and I'm really digging these new tables. I think they did a great job with them. And but on that set, Medieval Madness is always a go-to. Attack from Mars is always a go-to. They're fun anytime, but I'm playing the heck out of that Theater of Magic.
That's
I
cool.
really like that. And then usually when I get done playing some of those, because the boxing one is right next to it, I'll jump over there and play a couple games and try to knock the guy out. And in VR, see, another thing, I don't know if it's easier because it's in VR and it's 3D, or if it's something with the physics and the way it's written. On this thing, when I play that, I wish I could remember the names of these tables. I feel like an idiot. When I play that boxing game and you get up into that jump rope thing, I can't do the jump rope timing right. In VR, I'm all over it.
That's something like pub something or other. Pub.
Yeah.
Pube.
Yeah.
Pube.
Yeah. It's pube brawling.
We had a place my whole life growing up, and my dad was friends with the owner. He worked with him, called Patrick's Pub. Their last name was Patrick, and his pub, it was all Irish type of thing. But of course, my dad would say, "Let's go to the pube instead of the pub," you know, being a funny guy like me.
Yeah. Black Hole is a great table. Oh, there we go. He's Black Knight 2000. Bride of Pinball. He corrected himself. I had your back, Mike. I knew what you meant. Yeah, and I got my flick my balls shirt on that Mr. Postile gifted me. 2 years ago now?
Oh, yeah, time flies.
And if I don't like people, I cover the F. Or maybe if I do like, I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah. Or if I blend, man, I can't tell which way I'm going. If I blend the L and I together, it becomes a whole different saying. It's kind of.
Yeah, Flick and the name Clint. If you look at it wrong, they're different words altogether.
They are. Yeah, that's dangerous on a T-shirt. You get one wrong fold, and you're getting slapped, or it might turn out good. You don't know.
I need 1 second here. I'll be right. But you're going to be all alone for 1 second, okay?
All right. All right. Here he goes. Everyone, get the chat ready. It's Poe bashing time. There he goes. Finally. Yeah. So, are me and Poe the only ones here in the chat that have the VR, or the new FX VR Ballistic? Did you get that? If you got it, I didn't see it in the chat. And Mike, you don't have VR, right? Because it makes you sick. So, I'm just curious. Because if we were to throw together a little tournament in Discord for them, because they don't have their built-in tournaments, I don't know how many people would play them, but I certainly will, because I'm really liking it. Anyone got any shit to talk about Poe while he's gone? Yeah. Oh, man. You have PlayStation VR? The original? You don't play it much, or how does it work out for you when you're playing? Oh, that's right. You were saying it's better when you're in it than watching it, right? Because now you're in control and you know when it's going to go. Or, you know when you're looking left and looking right. And it's amazing also to me I don't think VR translates well for YouTube and stuff, because all the little tiny head movements you do that you don't notice, but on the screen it's like this. It's oh, you don't have any VR? Yeah. It's amazing. I knew I was going to get it as soon as they said it was coming out. Poe went to do the poops, maybe. I don't know. He said only 1 second, so I don't think it's that.
No poops.
No poops.
Yeah, I heard Mike mention PlayStation VR 1, and that's really cool at the time. I actually bought that for the kids originally. And even though I love everything 3D, everybody would always yell 3D is a gimmick. And I'm like, not if you love it,
Right.
You support it if you love it. And so then they wanted that. And I ended up getting into it a little bit at the end. But Sony really upset me with that, because they didn't make any of those games playable on the PSVR 2. That's just something you think would be a thing they would do, right? You got this whole library of games. Bring them all out for the VR 2. So that kind of upset me about it.
Wow. Now, one thing I'm curious, Poe, do you have any intention, or at some point down the line, of putting a 3D movie on your Quest 3 and seeing how that looks?
I've read a lot about that lately, and the main thing that I wanted to do was get back into that, what was it, big screen that you and Greg tried out that time.
Right.
I want to go in and I wanted to watch something with you guys. And really what I wanted to do was last week, Monday, I wanted to see if somehow I could set it up so that we could all watch The Last Crusade together, because it was the anniversary of that movie. And I thought that would be so cool if we could have done that. But I still haven't figured all that stuff out yet. So I haven't even downloaded big screens yet, or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Now, Kelly and I tried a couple times to watch a movie together, but that becomes weird because we're sitting next to each other. So if we kind of did from what I could figure out, I couldn't figure out how to share the movie so that we're all watching the same thing, unless you go to one that someone else is sharing. I don't know how they do that. So Kelly and I put it on both headsets, and then we went, okay, ready, set, play. And, but if it's out of sync just a little bit and the other person's sitting there, we didn't have headphones on or nothing, so you're hearing everything, echoed, because they're not quite perfectly in sync. But it was kind of neat. We could see each other's characters there, and we're watching on it at a movie theater. But
that's cool. If we could find a way, that would be cool. We could do a little party with whoever has a headset and go in. Yeah. And I think they let you do that in your home space now too. The stuff that I was looking up, you could watch a video together. You could invite, I think, 8 or 10 people into your home space.
Oh, really?
And watch a movie. And I've watched other people that have their PlayStation accounts. Some dude in the MetaQuest 3 community on Facebook was playing his PlayStation 5 on his MetaQuest 3 on a big screen here. Then he had like a basketball game going here and YouTube over here and like everything going at once. So I'm like, I need to do that remote play with PlayStation 5 on that maybe. Maybe that would be something to try out.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few people that are posting online that they got their Quest 3 and they're playing their flat games. Like you said, they got it blown up into like a 100-inch screen,
Right, and you
they'll
can
leave
do
it
like a big
through.
flat screen, or you can do a big curved screen for that thing.
Right. Yeah, and they'll be in their pass-through mode, so they're sitting in their own living room, but there's just a giant screen taking up the whole front wall.
And that's what makes Pornhub so good on there, is you can tell if somebody came in the room, so you can get your pants up quicker now.
Right. Yeah. And with our black and white pass-through, Kelly never sees me coming in. Yeah. But anyway, so we're over an hour and a half into the show. The big 2-man show you're working tomorrow, right, Bo?
Oh yeah, lovely. Weekends go way too fast.
Yeah. So unless you had anything else, I think we can wind this down at this point.
Yeah, I think that's about it for now.
Yeah. So check it out. Like I said, we didn't have anything set up for any tournaments or challenges or anything this month. So keep an eye out on the Discord. If we decide if one of us plays a game and posts a score, post your own score, see if you can beat it. It doesn't have to be an official challenge. Just see what's going on. Or if you decided you got a wild hair and said you're going to play a game of whatever, post your score and see if anyone else tries to beat it. So
yeah, congratulations to Mike's Gaming Gala and Andy Arthur, was that who beat had the top score?
Beat the pants off of us in both games. Although Greg did have a good showing on that in the food fight. He did a good job there. So, but yeah, congratulations to you guys. Greg will be posting the winners, the scoreboard on the Whitewater that was going on for, I think we're 27 days into it or something like that. So there's still a couple of days. Greg's going to post that in the Discord also. So I don't even know what they're talking about. I'm just seeing something catching the zipper and yeah.
Beans and Frank.
Yeah. So, all right. So thanks for watching. Did you have a final thought you wanted to throw out?
Yeah. VR is awesome. If you haven't tried it, give it a try. Maybe get in on a entry level if you're not sure if you can handle the VR sickness. But yeah, I think it's great. One of my favorite things to do. Thanks to Off Grid Arcade, because like I said, I had the PSVR 1 before I knew you, and I didn't really do much with it. So
yeah, and pinball is one of those games that it's VR friendly because for the most part you can teleport. You don't have to run around, and you get to the table and you're only barely moving, so it's not seasick inducing. Yes, Mike's Gaming Gala says there. I hope Mike feels better. Yeah, we haven't heard anything from him. I think he took some meds and he's laying down. Greg is on the mend. We're hoping that he'll be back around. They're both pretty upset that we're only doing one show a month right now, and they both had to miss a show, so that's kind of brutal. But so next month, I guess we should say maybe that'll be our final thought. Next month, the first is the 6th of July is the first Sunday.
Ooh. So one day before my birthday, get the presents sent out.
All right. Get the stuff ready the day before Poe's birthday.
And yeah, Ballistic. I'll be on Ballistic tomorrow night at 9:00, and Casey the Intellivision Gamer at 8:00 tomorrow. So, appreciate it.
Yep. Tune into their channels. Click the thumbs up on their channels. Subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. Check out Mike's Gaming Gala's channel. I tease, but he's got a great channel. Ballistic has a great channel. Go to their channels, subscribe to their stuff, see what they're going on. Atari Creep.
Thank you, Creep.
A lot of good guys. Good guys hanging out here with a lot of good channels that are probably better than this show. I don't know. I know that's a little bar, but yeah, next month it'll be Mike and Greg.
I don't know if that's ever happened. Me and Bart have been on the most out of the board.
Yeah,
so.
I think this is like the third time or fourth time it's just been the two of us, and people still tune in. I don't know; they're gluttons for punishment. But, all right, yeah, Mr. Poststyle's doing the road show. So yeah, so next month is July 6th, so 4th of July weekend. So
nice.
There we go. Hope to see you there. And was that it? Was that your
We'll
final
see
thought?
you
Oh, here's
on the next one.
yeah, and I got to make a new scene and put our outro on it because I didn't even do that when I created the
Nice.
thing. So yeah, here we go.
There it is.
It's playing. 3. We can
I like the whistle part.
go.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, that whistle's coming. Mike likes the logger. Look at that guy. Oh, there it is. That's what it's all about. Oh, at some point I got to click the end stream.